Good morning. I just wanted to do a quick comment on Jim Acosta in the little conference that the president was giving, and he kind of went off. Just because I have to, I just have to. I think I'm listening to a lot of garbage on the news, and some of it's accurate. But does CNN report fake news? Absolutely. Okay, here's why. Go look at the Mexican news. I know it's in Spanish. If you don't understand Spanish, then it's pointless. But if you do understand Spanish, go watch the Mexican news and see how they report on the migrant caravan. And what you'll see is there's a lot of conflict that's going on now between the Honduran, El Salvadoran, Guatemalan caravan people and the Mexicans, not just the government, but the actual people who live there. A lot of people there are saying that there are criminals and violent people in the caravans. So when Jim Acosta comes up in front of the media and people who don't get the big picture, they only watch Jim Acosta to find out what's going on in the world because they don't know how to do research. They don't know how to look for alternative views. They don't know how to gather information so they can make an educated decision. They just are slaves and sheep of the system. Jim Acosta paints the migrant caravan as, oh, these are good people. You're painting them as people climbing walls. Well, watch the footage of the people climbing walls. They're actually doing it. Like Trump said, they're not actors. Watch the people who ripped down the fence that was acting as a blockade at the Guatemalan-Mexico border. Watch the people as the men, I should say, because it's mostly men. You don't see the women involved in all this action. You only see the women when it's in front of the camera and they get paid to interview. Even a lot of the women are afraid to go now with the caravan because a lot of them are getting raped. A lot of kids are getting kidnapped and trafficked as sex slaves. So a lot of that news is coming out in the Mexican media. These are not kind, good people. And they're invading a lot of the towns, and a lot of the towns don't want them. The state of Oaxaca doesn't want them there. It's telling them to go around Oaxaca. So, yeah, they're hundreds of miles away, and I question whether they will actually really get to the border. However, the midterm elections actually worked in their favor because the Democrats got the House. And so a lot of the migrants were emboldened. They were encouraged that now there are criminals in government in the U.S. that will allow them to escape the laws of immigration when they get to the border. And they tried to paint Trump as a racist for trying to block him out. Well, I think Donald Trump is doing what he can, and I think he's trying to show force so that they don't get to the border, because the reality of it is he's trying to dishearten them because he knows that they're only there for freebies, and freebie type people aren't willing to work when they encounter opposition. They just want freebies. And really, you think that the trek is opposition, but they've been paid $2,500 average to make that trek. Shoot, if someone paid me $2,500, I'd walk 1,000 miles because it's good for my health and I got paid for it. You know, I take care of my bills for a month. If it took me a month or two, you know, just to take care of some of my bills, sure, great. If I made $6 grand, 10 grand walking for a couple months, good. Yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it. Sure. In fact, I'm wondering if I should fly down to Honduras and just start walking. Just kidding, I wouldn't do that. But what we saw last night is an example of how the Democrats work. CNN is a representative of the leftist Democratic Party. And they like to talk Me Too, but you even saw how he treated the moderator, female moderator, who tried to get the microphone from him because he was outstepping his bounds and even talking over other reporters. And he just kind of chopped her away, you know, pushed her off. You know, he could have turned away from her. He could have kind of run and made it look defensive, but he was aggressive towards her, like, stay away, this is my mic. So he demonstrated that the Democrats are not for women's rights. They do not treat women well. All the feminists that side with that are really showing that they're not really for women's rights. The fact that he disrespected his time boundaries and his character boundaries when interviewing the president shows it reflects basically how they view immigration. There should be no boundaries, no character laws or walls or fences to prevent anything from happening. And that's not freedom. That's not a matter of freedom of expression. It's a matter of courtesy and decency, respecting people's boundaries. You know, thieves don't respect people's boundaries. When the doors are closed on your home, they will break down the door to get in and get your stuff. It's the same philosophy of illegal immigration. If you want to come into my house, ask me. Get to know me. If I know you, I've vetted you, and I trust you, I will bring you in. See, it's all about trust. But you try to break my windows in, I won't trust you. I will see you as a danger to my family, as a threat to my possessions and to my life and to my family's life, and I will resist you. So Democrats talk resist, that's true resistance. It's self-preservation. It's protecting your boundaries. So a country has boundaries, otherwise it's not a country. And this also goes into their philosophy of why they don't want people to have identities anymore. They don't want people to be male or female because male or female creates boundaries. But yet any scientist, any educated person and educated scientist knows that there's a female and a male, that if you put them together, that they make another life. And this is also where it bleeds into abortion, where there's no boundaries. Because now, if you are you and the baby's you, there's no boundary. But the baby is not you. There is a boundary because the baby has separate DNA. So see, the philosophy of all these no boundaries systems is what creates the problems that we face today. Like today, there was a shooting in Ventura. A gun creates boundaries. It creates respect. It creates a you don't come here attitude, right? Because if you know there's a danger there, you won't go there. So Democrats try to take guns from the people because it takes that boundary away. And then they use the guns to kill us, to scare us, and then they label the gun as the enemy rather than the Democrats, or rather than the mentally disturbed person who somehow got a gun. I heard it was an SBR, short barrel rifle. Short barrel rifles are illegal in California. You have to have your barrel a certain length in order for it to qualify as a legal firearm within California borders. And so you cannot purchase it legally. So how did this person get this gun? There was already legislation against it. There was already background checked against it. So this SBR was used in a murder. 12 people in this nightclub. There's no boundaries there. And so, and also with that philosophy, if you follow abortion where you believe that the person in your stomach is not a separate person from you so you can kill it, you will take that same philosophy into the nightclub where the people in the nightclub are in your area, they're in your vicinity, so they are not separate people, so you can kill them. See, this is why it's not conservatives killing people, because we don't think like that. We respect other people, and we want them to respect other people as well. We don't expect more out of other people than we expect out of ourselves. So when it comes to illegal immigration, we respect your borders, so please respect ours. Okay, and that's what I have to say with that. Just go back and look at it, and you'll see how the fake news is truly fake. And I really hope that you'll go out and actually go watch some of the media in Mexico and try to understand. Hopefully you'll find translated, accurately reported videos about what's going on in Mexico, about a lot of the killing. There's one more I forgot to mention. The Mexican cartels are now getting they're getting capos out there. They're lieutenants, they're captains that are forming militias that are going to go out and hunt down a lot of the criminals within the migrant caravans. So when CNN paints the migrant caravan as it's just kind people, good people traveling. You know, you forget that El Salvador has one of the biggest gangs, the Mara Salvatrucha, also known as MS-13, and they are traveling along with the caravans. In fact, two of the migrants shot at Mexican federales while they were being transported and escorted by the federales. So it's revealed that the MS-13 gang is actually in there, in the caravan, and the cartels don't want another gang in their territory. So they're starting to hunt them down. So like I said, caravan may not even make it to us, but Trump is trying to show brute force. And he showed it also in that press conference that no, you're going to respect the boundaries that are given to you. And if you don't respect them, you will lose your press pass. You will lose your get out of jail free card, because there are laws and there are rules that we all must abide by. And if we don't follow those laws, we have lawlessness, just like this nightclub, just like the Democrats support. No boundaries, lawlessness. So think about those things. If you are the type that are rejoicing that the Democrats took the House, just wait. You'll see. There will be criminality that will be revealed in time. Take care.